Okay. Hold on.
are live.
Just in case, I'm going to change the stream information to something. Oh, look at that! I think I'm going live.
There you go.
I didn't touch anything, and I think I'm going live because it says some stuff here.
Good to know that I've got that kind of control over your channel.
Yeah, I think you've got control over my stuff here.
So, Dan, what's your third account? Because I think I only have movie and the mobile. What's the third account called?
So I have 4 accounts because I'm an idiot.
Okay, no, it's too much. It's too much. I can't.
Okay, so I've got the streaming account, which is the Monguli Show. I've got the mobile account, which is Monguli's mobile gaming. The gaming account, Monguli's gaming show or something, and then the movie show. So everything, everything goes to the streaming.
It's all
right,
Monguli.
Everything's Monguli. Everything goes to the streaming channel. So right now we are streaming to the streaming channel, and then I will take that VOD, cut it down, put movie clips and such into it, and then I'll put that onto the movie show. The Quarry we were playing on Monday, I'm going to take those, break them down into episodes, put that on the gaming channel. Stuff like that. If Marvel Mystic Mayhem comes out and I decide to get into that, I'll take that clip, put that on the mobile channel. Stuff like that.
He's doing the new thing, which is using YouTube channels as video channels.
Playlists.
Yes. I mean, everybody seems to be doing this. I'm hearing good things about the strategy.
When I search Mongulis,
you won't get anything.
Oh, really? Why?
Because if I find whenever I try and search Monguli, I get Mongolian. And I get like weird Mongolian movies and stuff like that. I'm like, that's not.
Well, all your other like Monguli stuff that the two that I subscribe to and the videos all come up, but not the other 2 channels for some reason.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you go to my Discord and the roles section, those are all links to my channels.
Oh, okay, let me take a look.
So for everybody that's just joining me on my 2 channels, because Monguli took control of my
stream, gave me control. It was consensual.
Which is really weird. Yeah, I click a button and now he's got control. We're doing the Monguli movie show that we on his show and mine too, and probably Will's at some point where we discuss movies. And today we're discussing The Lost World. We go over franchises, and if you've never seen this before, that's what we're doing. We're going over the second movie in the Jurassic Park franchise, which is The Lost World. Last week, we went over Jurassic Park, the first one. So that's to get anybody who happens to be watching this VOD on my channel. And when we warm up, we just talk about streaming stuff and dick around until people show up here. And that's what we're doing now.
Welcome to Dan's Dicking Around. Featuring these 2 guys.
Man, our rating, we totally missed it. We should have been Dan's Dicking Around. That's what we should have done.
Good.
That's the pregame.
Oh, we got a kickbot already. Look at that.
Kickbot just
look at that. We got a kickbot in chat already.
I kind of like the name Kickbot. I kind of like that. So simple, so accurate.
Bubba Hotep, welcome in, buddy.
How are you doing, Hotep? You've been dying for like a week now.
We have a real Kick person in from Kick also. That's amazing. I've never seen one of those. What's up, Chill Kill?
Never seen one of those. It's a Kick user in the wild. I appreciate you. I mean, he's not wrong. 99 at least % of the times we get a message from Kick, it is just like, "Hey, I love your stream. Do you want to buy my stuff?"
Hey, great streamer.
Yeah.
Omega, this is some seltzer water with like a Kool-Aid squirt. You no longer have to mix the powder when you want to make Kool-Aid. You could just squirt it into a drink. So I mix it with seltzer water, so it's like a fruity punch with carbonation. That's all it is.
The future is here.
That's right. The future is here. You no longer have to stir your Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Kool-Aid squirts.
Yep. What's up, Flint? How's it going?
I get to watch Run on YouTube and Mongugu. You're on Twitch.
Flint, if you send Dan a song, there's a 23% chance that he can get us to hear it.
23 is not bad. I'll say 23.
Forward it to us in Discord if we need to. In fact, speaking of music, I'm going to put some music on that I can hear. Hopefully nobody else hears this. I think you guys probably don't hear this, right? It's not coming through.
I'm not hearing anything.
Okay. Well, I'm not hearing anything either yet, so I got to fix that.
Where is my actual internet?
Oh, there we go. Got my lo-fi beats on in the background so I can chill.
I'm okay with that because then it doesn't like I always put music on in the background for this section and then I forget to take it out and then like 8 minutes into the record I'm like, oh fuck, delete.
Right. But I just like a little something to help keep me going positive because a lot of times your music doesn't come through. Sometimes it does, most of the time it doesn't.
There's nothing. I'm not playing any music right now because I just got frustrated with like having to try and like delete it in the VOD after the fact.
I see.
My supervisor was friendly to me. I got a discount on my hoodie. My bus ride to work was free. My girlfriend is posting again, and I met a really cute girl yesterday named Zoe at work.
I think Zoe
girlfriend and really cute girl at work are conflicting. Good luck with that.
Well, they're not conflicting.
They're not conflicting, but that's a good word.
This is optimism and options is what we're dealing with here. The line hasn't been crossed as of yet. I think Zoe is a really cute girl's name. I knew a Zoe back when I was a young man, and she was adorable. She didn't know I existed, but she was cute.
One of my twins was almost a Zoe, and we decided against it. And then we had a third. They're like, "Do you want to go with Zoe?" And we're just like, "Nah, we're good." Like we moved on by then. But all right, Flint would like to see this if I can. Is this Ceci? I don't know if the sound will go through. Last time I tried to do this, the sound didn't work. So let me know.
Oh yeah, we got sound.
Yeah, we got sound.
Ceci's in the chat, never seen their face. A legend in MSF, they light up the place. They dropping those subs like it's nothing at all. 100's rolling in, make another stand tall. They keep the vibe high, always bringing the fun.
That's not bad.
What's your definition of you made it, Flint? Just out of curiosity.
I do hate the video of this guy scooting his chair back and forth, but the song itself for AI is not bad.
It reminds me of Will when he's like excited or nervous. He just kind of like can't sit still in his chair.
Right, yeah.
Like if you watch the movie Trivia, Will is moving that entire time. Like he lost pounds doing that thing.
Oh yeah, I was moving.
Did you write all these lyrics, or did you just kind of put in a few essentials about Ceci and then let it come up with something?
Yeah, I'm guessing the latter on that.
For those who don't know, Ceci is world-renowned in the MSF community for just dropping way too much money on people and then bouncing out. At least that's what he does to me. I don't know, maybe he hangs out with you guys.
I'm not sure I love the chorus.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's funny is that Ceci throws so much dirt at everybody. Like he comes in hot all the time. I love it personally because I'm pretty thick-skinned. But I didn't expect Flint to like give him props in the video. I thought it was gonna be a diss track.
Well, Flint's streaming now, so maybe he's like hoping get on his good side.
Yeah, that's right.
He made affiliate. Now he's like, hey, Ceci, want to be friends?
Fund my stream, please. So, when Ceci first started coming around, I was just getting my start in MSF. And I got to be honest, when he started showing up in my streams, it would make me very nervous. Because he was known for dropping massive amount of subs, right? Just hundreds of dollars at a time, sometimes even thousands of dollars of subs.
Yeah.
And it made me very nervous to know he was in there because of that fact. And I don't know why. Like I was like, do I cater to him? Do I not? Like, I don't want to sound like I'm kissing his ass because he's known as spending a bunch of money. Yeah. I don't want to treat him any differently than anybody else. Like, it was a very awkward feeling. Then he started making fun of me, and I just make fun of him, and it was fine. You're like, oh, never mind. Fuck all the sub stuff. Just talk some trash, have a good time, and it was fine. But at first, it was very awkward. For me, not for him. He probably loved my awkwardness.
He came in during the subathon, the for charity subathon, and just like, I don't even think he said hello. It's just like $2,000, and I'm just like,
yep,
that's all of my goals. Like I now have nothing to work towards. All right, I guess we're going live for 24 hours with nothing to strive for. Thanks, bye. Yeah.
He jumped into mine, and he's all.
I am not complaining.
Leave both those off.
Yeah. But it was also one of those, like, I think Will and I were playing Hunt at the moment. And I'm just sitting there, like, just literally looking at the screen, like, does that say 200? Like, am I is it? Am I missing a zero? What's going on? What is? It can't be $2,000. Like, what the fuck?
Oh yes, it can.
So I think my reaction for him was probably pretty lame because I was just staring at the screen, just like dumbfounded, just like what? Well, yeah. Anyways,
can I just say, I think it's hilarious that everybody was just razzing Mobile Gamer for making AI music, and now everybody's making AI music.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, I honestly want his Cargo Short song. That when somebody sent that to me, and I listened to like 10 seconds of it, and it got stuck in my head for a while. So I was like, all right, that might be a redemption at some point if I can find it again.
I've only made one AI song, and it's AI Sucks. That's the name of the song.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
It's just about AI music being crap.
Yeah, I think
just make the AI roast itself.
That's basically what I did. Yeah.
Mobile, I think, has a music list on his YouTube or a YouTube where you can find all the songs he's made. He's got like a whole playlist for it.
Is that it right there, Flint?
That might be it right there.
Boop. Awesome. Thank you. I am bookmarking that for later. You're the best, bud. Thanks, Flint.
Anyone looking forward to the new Captain America movie?
Honestly,
not really.
I kind of am in the... I still really like the Marvel movies and TV shows and such, or at least I like them enough. I wouldn't say that I'm hyped for it, but I am planning on seeing it in theaters.
I feel like they gave away a ton in the preview. Like I've seen half the movie already, and ever since the last Captain Sam, and you could do better, and it was just such terrible writing. It was so horrific to me that I have zero desire to watch that movie right now. I'm going to wait until I'm going to have like the majority of people say, wow, that was an amazing movie before I bother watching it.
Yeah. Sorry, which one was the terrible writing? I mean, there's a lot to choose from, but which one did you
when Captain Sam becomes Captain America, at the very end, he lands, he's like talking to the mayor of the city, and he's like, you can do better or whatever, his little speech. It was just, it's the usual Disney writing that's so on the nose. And it just drives me nuts that they can't be more eloquent with their messaging and stuff.
Fair enough. I have been watching. I've been rewatching Daredevil, which I recognize is Netflix. It's not Marvel, but I'm getting ready for the show coming out. I'm watching it with my kids and really enjoying it again. And also the new Spider-Man show that just came out. The animations, I can understand if you said the animation style was not for you, but it's only 2 episodes in so far, and I'm actually really enjoing it.
It's very.
I'm also a huge Spider-Man fan, so
it's very comic book style of animation, right?
For sure.
Which is fine. That's a choice. I watched it with my son. Every Saturday, we do like a picnic supper and we watch something. And so he's into that right now. He liked the Venom alien at the beginning or whatever, symbiote alien at the beginning. So he was pretty stoked to see that.
Nice. I've actually been watching, ironically, before we even started doing the Jurassic Park franchise, I've been watching the Jurassic Park Netflix show with my youngest. So we went through we did it backwards. So we did the one where they're teenagers first, and now we're going back to where they're on the island. And it's kind of fun. I've only seen Jurassic World once, and it's been a while. But like the first season happens at the same time as that, so you kind of get like little radio bits and pieces in the background. I'm like, that's kind of fun. Like I like that they integrated that. I don't know, like that's for the parents, because most of the kids watching the show probably hopefully have not seen that movie. But for the parents watching along, they're kind of like, I know what they're talking about. That's kind of cool.
That's the Camp Cretaceous.
Camp Cretaceous?
Yeah. My son watched that too, actually, when he was like 2, and he really was into it. And now he's not so much into it. So because they're growing up and stuff, maybe they're too old for him. But maybe I'll get him back into it. Seems like a fun show.
Omega, you can skip most of the Echo live action. Kingpin lives. That's all you really need to know. It's fine.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I thought they set Echo up really nice in the Hawkeye series, and the TV series had so much potential, but just didn't really go anywhere.
I didn't hate it as a whole. It just didn't.
She just didn't have much of like a through line in the show. I felt like her arc was pretty. I don't know. Maybe. Okay. I don't know.
I don't speak ASL. I've done a little bit of ASL. I used to know more than I do currently, but I don't speak ASL. But every time you see ASL in movies, they're talking pretty quickly with their hands and like the conversation is flowing. And I felt like in Echo, they were like, no, we're talking ASL. We're going to go slow. Okay. And it was just like, okay, like it felt
Yeah.
too slow, even for real life, let alone for an audience. It was just like, this needs to pick up a little bit. But has anybody seen the Jurassic Park trailer? Yes, we all have seen it. I actually just recorded a trailer reaction for it. I'll edit that once this show is done and have that out for you tomorrow morning. Spoilers, not a fan.
But we're gonna watch it when it comes out.
Yeah, we're gonna watch
we'll
it.
kind of have to.
Woo!
There's gonna be an asterisk on this one for a while, unfortunately, because I don't imagine any of us are seeing that one in theaters.
Woo. Probably
Nope.
not.
That's gonna be. I'm gonna wait for a free service on that one, or a service I already paid for at least.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at the trailer, it might not take long.
Yeah, no doubt, right?
I haven't looked into the newer ones. Like, I haven't seen Dominion yet, so there's that. Did they do well? Like, the first couple of movies obviously did incredibly well, but I have no idea. Like, I think Jurassic World did well, and they keep making them, so they must have done okay.
Yeah, I think they do good enough. I haven't seen the second or third Jurassic World either because I just it's a lot of Chris Pratt, you know.
Yeah.
Not a Chris Pratt fan.
Green tagging. I saw a
In
teaser.
doses.
I saw a teaser for Alien Earth, and it was very weird and quick, and I didn't quite understand it. It looked like a spaceship hurtling toward Earth, and something was flowing through it on the inside, or maybe scurrying through it. I wasn't really sure. I have no idea where Alien Earth is going. I have low hopes for it, though. I'm kind of setting the bar low for this. I think they're going to screw it up.
Yeah. I think I saw the same trailer or teaser that you did a while ago, and I was just like, okay, like that literally is just letting me know that it exists. It doesn't give you anything else, and I'm just like, okay, it exists, cool. Sure. I don't know any more than I did 30 seconds ago. Here's a hot take. I would only put Lost World above a 50%. I mean, as in you would say all the other Jurassic World's parks are less than 50%?
What's going on,
Is that what you're
Tony?
saying? Weird and quick, Ven, a nickel for every time I heard that. I'm guessing you'd still only have like 2 nickels, bud. Sorry.
Am I just showing, what am I showing everybody else? I'm not showing everybody else everything, huh? Okay, here.
I mean,
there.
thankfully, no, you are not showing everybody everything. I'm seeing you from like the 7-Up, and then there's a Tyrannosaurus in the background.
Oh, that's probably why. There now everybody can see what's really going on. We got a bunch of people in here talking.
Nice.
I mean, I saw the paired in chat, if that's what you're talking about. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
the
assuming
pair,
that's not
yeah.
coming from your chat. So like TSP3 Live, that's coming from you.
Yeah, that's Tony Scagili. He's here for the dinosaurs.
Nice.
Sure. Thank you, Tony.
I mean, that's the only reason to watch these movies at this point.
Yeah. And there's double the dinosaurs in number 2.
Apparently.
At least.
Should we get into it? Should we get into the dinosaurs?
Yeah, I'm good to get in if you guys
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I don't have a quiz for after this because we haven't done the last like 4 quizzes, and I just said fuck it. So we can do an old quiz if you want, but I didn't make one for this one.
Yeah, you could do the OG Jurassic Park. It's still probably in everybody's minds.
Yeah. You have an opener for us, Will?
Oh, I suppose. Oh, boy.
All right.
All right. The Lost World, Jurassic Park, 1997. When one island full of dinosaurs goes awry, it's time for iGen to hit up the second island full of dinosaurs to attempt to save the prehistoric theme park business before it goes extinct. But this time, Ian Malcolm does not plan on taking on iGen laying down, with his shirt wide open, chest glistening in the moonlight. No, this time it's a family affair.
Are you trying to make us break in the
You
background?
Glistening chest to family affair. Okay.
Oh man.
I don't know. I'm just writing what I see, you know?
So I'm going to give
Love
a
it.
little bit of a spoiler. Last time Dan came in with his 100 score and we tried to pick it apart. I'm going to come in and tell you guys something. I had a lot of fun watching this movie.
Nice.
It's going to get a low score from me,
yes,
but
it
I
is.
actually had a lot of fun watching the movie. So
I think that's what this movie is. I think
I
that's
think
what this
I think it
movie
is, right? Like, just go in with low expectations, turn your brain off, and enjoy.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
I thought
so.
you were going to give us the score on that one. I thought you were going to go full Dan.
Well,
You don't have to. I'm just saying.
Nah, my score. Well, and two, I think my score is going to fluctuate a little bit because I kind of want to kind of like tease some things out and ask questions about what you guys thought about
Yeah,
certain
sure.
aspects of it. Like, for one, the plot.
Okay, so here's the thing. So I was watching this, and like, you're not wrong. This movie is nowhere near as good as the first one, but it's definitely. No, I shouldn't say definitely. I haven't seen them in a long time. I'm pretty confident this is still my second favorite Jurassic Park. Like, I
Okay.
still think it's a lot better than what's coming. That said, this movie's all over the place. If the movie had just been Julianne Moore wanting to document the dinosaurs and they go on the rescue expedition to get her, and it had been fairly small, like just like the four of them, I get that doesn't leave you a whole lot of people getting eaten. But like, that could have been a really cool movie. Just like the four of them wander around the island trying to stay like hidden and document the dinosaurs. I honestly would have been relatively okay with that. And then we get the Hasbro commercial, and it's like, oh, all right, never mind. This is gonna be a totally different movie.
Mm-hmm. I think Spielberg wanted to have fun, and I think he knew what he was doing here. I think he was like, oh, everybody loved this movie. Let's just give them more of what we think they loved.
Right.
And it kind of just diminished the whole awe and wonderment and excitement of dinosaurs in real life are awesome.
Yeah. They got rid of a lot of the majesty, like a lot of the awe, and it just like they got rid of the awe and just left us with shock.
They kind of
And it
even
didn't
make
really
the
work for
joke.
me.
He's like, "Oh yes," and then they're screaming and running. You know, the joke from Malcolm.
Now, what did you think about the characters in this movie? Because they did keep Dr. Malcolm and I guess Hammond, but pretty much everybody else is brand new in this one. Did you like Vince Vaughn, Richard Schiff, Julianne Moore, Pete Postlethwaite? Did this crew do it for you as well? Because I think we all pretty much unanimously liked the crew in the first Jurassic Park.
Yeah, remember when I said the character development in the first one was a little rough? I feel like this movie double downs in all the wrong ways. So everything that was wrong with the first one, this one just doubled down on those wrongities. And a lot of the characters are pretty rough. I didn't mind. Actually, I think maybe one of my favorite characters in this movie was Roland, the main hunter guy.
Okay. Pete Postlethwaite.
Yeah. He at least had a reason for being there and a purpose. And you could see his through line. Yeah. Whereas most other characters are pretty surface level.
I don't agree with his reason to be there, but I understand that people like him exist in the world.
Exactly.
Like he felt, for what he was, pretty realistic. Whereas a lot of the other like villains in this movie felt mustache twirly, like they were just there to be villains, and you're just like, okay, like there's no humanity in you whatsoever. Cool. All right.
I kind of feel like this movie was. They weren't even trying. They're like, people are here for the dinosaurs. Let's just give them the dinosaurs. Let's just do some scary, fun stuff. Try some different adventurous things, and we're going to turn the volume up on everything. We're going to give you 2 Tyrannosaurus Rexes. We're going to have the Velociraptor sequence where they're really flying at you. We're going to have a dinosaur running down Main Street with the Unical 76 ball rolling down the street. We're just going to do some crazy, crazy stuff. Who cares if it makes sense? We don't need a plot line. All we need is these characters to get in there and do amazing things with dinosaurs, and that's what they did. I would say that as far as the characters went, they were all replaceable. You could have interchanged any one of those actors or actresses with somebody else. Wouldn't have made a difference. Did they do a pretty good job? Yeah, they did. Even the little girl did okay. She was terrible at being scared. She was terrible at being scared.
Well done, Kelly. Well done. You did it.
But you know what?
She broke the curse.
She was playing a role that I felt like this little girl understood and played well. Like when she's sitting in the chair talking to her dad at the beginning and she's playing this disengaged, preteen girl. She did an amazing job in those sequences, and I really believed her, and she just nailed it. And then
just like she nailed that velociraptor through the window.
Right.
Gymnastics kill people.
Okay, here's the thing. She mentions that she was cut from the gymnastics team. She does this incredibly over-the-top gymnastics acrobatics act, knocking a 300-pound dinosaur out the window without missing a beat and sticks the landing. And then her dad looks at her and goes, "They cut you from the gymnastics team?" Like, they knew this was such BS. They knew this was ridiculous, and they gave Malcolm that line to let the audience know, yeah, we're just having fun here.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
You know?
So I think the two plot holes in the first Jurassic Park that I mentioned, that you guys mentioned, sorry, was the Tyrannosaurus paddock and the Tyrannosaurus coming into the building at the very end. And at both those, I was like, it just made the movie more fun. Like, there were small little things that made the movie more fun. This movie, it felt like they threw the plot out and they were just like, let's just make it fun. And they didn't really think about pretty much anything the entire time. Like, there's so many things that I have
100%.
questions about where it's like, I don't understand what we're looking at right now, even. Like, just really weird choices they made. For one, and I understand they don't want to kill a little girl, but at the very beginning of the movie, it starts off with this like rich British family just like camping on the front of the island with their incredible gourmet service, and like it's just ludicrous. And a little girl goes running off and gets attacked by this Compassaurus, and we find out that she's fine. Like she survived that encounter.
Yeah, I don't know if she's fine, but they do say she survived.
Okay, she survived. Sorry, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
And then later we have a full-grown hunter, and he gets taken out by these little things. And like, I don't want to fight these compies, but a part of me is like, I can probably take 10 of these things out. Like, I'll get scratched, but I'm pretty sure I'll make it.
All right.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's
Will, how
like,
many could you take, do you think, in a fight?
Ooh, compies, okay.
Because 4 or more, I'm running.
I think so,
I'm
too.
not saying I'm not running, but like once they grab me, I'm just like, all right, like it's stop, drop, and roll time, guys. You're in a lake, just like pushing you under rocks.
Chicken, just die.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny. Yeah. You're right. I mean, it's ludicrous. The setups for the each set piece is just crazier than the last. I feel like this movie is like exactly that. It's like everybody enjoyed the T-Rex in the first one. Let's have 2 or 3 T-Rexes in this one. They got to get out of this trailer before it falls. Let's have them climb up 2 or 3 times before they get out. This hunter is getting chased by compies. Let him jump on this guy 2 or 3 times before he goes down. They just like everything was just extended so long that I was just like bored of the scene by the time it ended. Even if it was like the trailer scene was a fun setup, and I really liked I can't remember his name, Eddie, I think, who was like trying to help him and get the rope, and like he was like being this heroic dude, but like, you know, doing what he can and struggling, and that was fun. But it just was so long, and then he just gets torn apart at the end because the T-Rexes have to come back 2 or 3 times to finish the job. It was so ridiculous that it just took me out of the movie. I laughed hysterically, but it took me out of like, why is this happening? Why? It doesn't even make sense anymore. It's just pure foolishness.
Yeah, I didn't like that Eddie died. I thought he tried so hard to rescue them, to get ripped in half by the 2 Tyrannosaurus Rexes. I was like, he was a purely good character. I was rooting for him the whole time. It felt
That's
bad.
why he had to die, though. That's why he had to die.
He got a vicious death for that too. Like it wasn't
he did.
Like he got ripped apart. Now, Brian, I'm pretty sure we've talked in the past. You're a West Wing fan.
Yes. Yes,
was
absolutely.
it weird for you to see Richard Schiff without a beard?
Because
it took me a second to clue into what was going on.
Beard, but this was a completely different role for him.
Oh yeah,
and he did play it well. He played a little bit different character. I mean, he still has some of his mannerisms and stuff that's shown through, but he was probably one of my favorite characters in this movie, and I think that's also why I didn't like him dying, because he was gone halfway through, and that sucked for me because I thought he did a great job. He's probably one of my favorite characters.
I would agree with that, but I wasn't sure if it was just my love of the West Wing carrying me on. Like literally, my cat's name is Toby, so like, I'm a fan. So I wasn't sure if it was just that carrying it over, or if it was like, no, he actually really did play an interesting role. Like it was a smaller role, but I liked it.
Like Vince Vaughn is a way bigger chicken wing for them to eat. They should have gone for him. I wouldn't have been upset about that at all. He was a completely forgettable character in this movie. He was all over the place. He had like a few opening lines about, I'm in it for the women and whatever. it really went nowhere for me. It didn't take me out. It was just this character was undeveloped, like most of the characters in this film.
Yeah, then he's like the undercover Greenpeace-esque guy, but all he
Right.
brings is like a freaking bolt cutter. Like, it's so bad. And then they go and invade the camp, and only like one lock on any of the dinosaur enclosures anyway, so he didn't even need the bolt cutters.
Well,
it was just
why
so
would you need
ridiculous.
locks?
I know.
Like, who's going to unlock those doors?
All of their equipment was destroyed in that raid. All of it, like they were helicoptering in car after car after tank after car, and then he lets loose like a triceratops, and all of their equipment is destroyed. They're like, well, we're going on foot for the rest of this movie.
What dinosaur launches the flaming Jeep?
Oh my goodness! Like
field away into the tree.
Hundreds of meters into the air.
What the heck was that thing?
I don't know.
Those camps were not close together. That just went flying. I'm like,
It doesn't
okay.
make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Another question that I think this episode is just going to be us roasting this movie.
I've
and
got
I'm
a
going to
few
tell you,
too.
I enjoyed this movie, so like my score is going to be higher than it is, but it's more fun to roast the parts that don't make sense than praise the things that do.
Sure.
Why can they clone millions of year old dinosaurs and do all these fantastical things, but they can't call anybody with a radio? Like even the guys who have like the 9-foot satellite dish still can't get a phone call out.
Yeah.
Why is that technology eluding us, but we can clone things? I don't understand.
T-Mobile's map just doesn't extend to the island, I guess.
Yeah, I think Ian Malcolm is part of the problem there. He seems more incompetent in this movie.
But the other team,
he's super incompetent in this movie as well, which is why Vince Vaughn like takes over as the action hero in this movie. For most of the part, like he's the one saving Julianne Moore's character. He's the one doing all the heroic things. And Malcolm's over here just asking himself questions and fumbling over his own words. It's really weird to me.
I'm actually okay with that because he's the Greenpeace guy. Like he's been out in the wild and lived his life, whereas Malcolm is a scientist. Like I'm kind of okay with him being a little bit less.
Sure. I guess the bigger problem is that maybe this movie specifically, but maybe in all movies, you can't go full Jeff Goldblum. And this movie just kind of proves it.
Yeah.
Like Ian Malcolm is like a super interesting character in the first one. He brings to light a lot of interesting questions of why they're doing this and should they do this. In this movie, he's just mumbling to himself and half-assedly trying to get his daughter off the island, but not really. He's just running around kind of aimlessly. It's really bad. It's really bad.
Ignore him half the time.
I like his character a lot more in the first one, to be fair. And he's more eccentric in the first one. But 100%. It works for the character that he is in that movie, whereas in this one, he's almost like a Marvel character. Like he's just there to like post quips every now and then, just like say his little funny one-liner.
He's not a leading character. Jeff Goldblum is a leading man, I think, but this is not a leading character. Ian Malcolm was never written to be a leading character, and this movie proves that point.
Okay,
right?
Now I never read the books. Is this following the written tale of Jurassic Park?
He dies in the book.
Okay.
It's been a long time since I've read this one. I couldn't tell you 100%. I've read the first one more often.
I was wondering why they went with Ian Malcolm as the lead character instead of Dr. Grant. I believe in 3 we get back to Dr. Grant.
Correct.
It did seem strange. He's not a leading, like it shouldn't be him, right?
I think,
and
Jeff
that dynamic was hard for me to adjust to the first time I watched it. But knowing how this was going to be and coming into it prepared for that the second time around, I was just like, okay, I'm just sit back and enjoy this movie, and I did enjoy it. But you're right, this character was a weird choice for a lead.
Yeah.
I think from a Hollywood perspective, you got to realize that Independence Day came out, I want to say the year before, and Jurassic Park 2 years before that. So Jeff Goldblum had quite a little bit of a star mid-90s.
He had some momentum going for him.
Sam Neill didn't have as much. Like he had Event Horizon coming out this year, but that was this year, right? Like
and he played a terrible character.
It could have been conflict as well a little bit.
That's a fair point.
That, right?
For sure.
Because he was doing that other movie. So could be multiple reasons for Hollywood to choose that.
I would like to know when the boat makes landfall at the end.
Yep.
Yes.
How did the Tyrannosaurus bite off the captain's hand to where the captain's hand was still on the steering wheel?
Kill everybody.
Well,
and the Tyrannosaurus Rex was locked in the bottom. How?
So when I was a kid, my theory on that, and this is wrong. I'm prefacing this is wrong. But when I was 15 or 16, or whenever this movie came out, I assumed it was the baby Tyrannosaurus that had gone around and killed people, because no way that massive Tyrannosaurus getting in. But it says very clearly in the movie, no, we flew the baby Tyrannosaurus in on plane.
Correct.
So it's just the Tyrannosaurus on the boat. So like, did something else get on the boat? Maybe, but they definitely don't say that.
You know
what?
what?
A raptor getting loose in San Francisco is actually more terrifying to me than a T-Rex.
So, cleaning agent, you were wondering how the Tyrannosaurus Rex got into the main area in the last movie.
Absolutely.
How did the Tyrannosaurus Rex get into the steerage of the ship? He's a crafty fellow.
I'll tell you, I don't know how, because obviously I know the answer. There was in the script, and they filmed, it was raptors that attack the boat when it's leaving with the T-Rex. I don't know how it's resolved. The raptors jump off and start an island somewhere else. I don't know. But that's how it happens in the script. But I don't know how they even got away with editing all that out so that just this boat of dead bodies goes ramming into the docks, and everybody's like, yeah, that's fine. They're dead. As long as the T-Rex gets out, everybody's going to forget. Yeah. It's fine.
This feels like... Okay, so again, the Tyrannosaurus paddock and stuff like that from the first one are mildly forgivable. They're wrong. They don't really make sense, but they're mildly forgivable. Excuse me. In this one, this is shocking to me that Spielberg just like edited it out and moved on with his life. Like, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Even if they didn't put the hand on the steering wheel and it's just, where did the crew go? Okay, cool. That would make sense to me, that like they were all down below when he broke loose, or they jumped overboard or something. But showing that hand there makes it so definitive that he died in that room. That bugs me.
And we have another hand that was like holding the close button on the door.
But at least I assume the body was behind that rake, because that wasn't inside, that was outside. So like it can make sense if that body just fell funny. That one I can wrap my head around.
But if the T-Rex is trapped in the cage underneath, how's the body like we've got multiple layers of bodies with missing hands that just shouldn't exist.
Clearly the Tyrannosaurus was sorry. None of this makes sense, but headcanon. The Tyrannosaurus was loose for a while.
I'm thinking Spielberg was just like, man, this thing's gonna make so much money. Who cares? Let's just go.
So originally,
I don't care.
It's dinosaurs. Count the money. Let's go.
I'm definitely editing that scene from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back with Gus Van Sant. Like, so roll, Gus. He's like, I don't care, Ben.
So originally, the ending of the movie was vastly different. The last act.
Yep.
Where they get into the helicopter, and the helicopter is then attacked by pterodons or some flying creature. And they had storyboards, they had mock-ups, and that's why at the end of the movie you see those pterodons and they look actually quite good. It's because they have them all rendered out and everything for that big sequence. And then Spielberg's like, you know what? I kind of want to just bring the T-Rex to the city. I think that'd be really cool. Let's put him on a boat. Let's get him there. And I think so from then on, he just didn't care. He just wanted the T-Rex at the city, no matter how it got there. It didn't matter. He just wanted it running around through the streets, causing mayhem and mischief. And so that's what he did. He really didn't give an F.
My understanding, and I truly apologize, I'm literally repeating something you just said.
No worries.
Was supposed to be something in the third movie. And then he was saving it for that, and then he was like, "Oh, I actually don't think I'm going to direct a third movie." So he put it in this one.
That's correct. There was talk of a third movie being a trilogy. He also, let's be honest, he forced the second book. He Crichton didn't even want to write the second book. And
I did not know.
Spielberg's like, dude, write the book so we have material for the movie. So he wrote the book, and then they didn't even take most of the book anyway. They went a fully different direction with it. So the whole
thank you for writing the title and moved on.
Exactly. It's such a weird happenstance, and it's super funny.
Or Will, both of you, have either of you been to San Francisco?
Yes,
twice.
Okay. Wow. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Because I have a legit question. I tried looking it up on Google Maps and I couldn't figure it out. How close are the suburbs to the docks in San Francisco? Because that Tyrannosaurus is on the water, looking at the city, and then all of a sudden he's in the suburbs. And I'm just like, what? Like, you would think he'd have to get through the city to get there, but we see the city after the suburbs.
I mean, there's plenty of docks in San Francisco, and there's lots. Like, I when I stayed there at like an Airbnb, we could walk from the suburbs to the city and to the everywhere.
It's a port city, and it is pretty compacted. So
yeah, it's not very big.
Depending on where they land, it's not obscene that he couldn't get to the suburbs. That's not something I even thought about with all the other plot holes, but
this is the only time that I recognize that, and it's because I'm looking for things. But it was just one of those things where I'm like, wait a second, what? Like,
he seems to just be everywhere, right?
Yeah, I would assume, because I remembered him stomping through the city in the gas station. I assumed that was first, and then he made it to the suburbs. From a movie perspective, it makes more sense to go to the suburbs first, scare the little kid, eat the dog, then do the rampaging. Yeah, but the way city, like, okay, so I'm picturing Toronto, right? Like the docks, the main city, way out there are the suburbs. Right. So I'm just like, that doesn't make sense. Obviously, they're not in Toronto, but that's just the one that I can put a face to. Yeah, I don't know. Like, the whole thing was just weird. Fun. Like, I'll admit, the T-Rex running around San Francisco was fun. Stupid, but fun. I did enjoy it. The chase scenes with all the vehicles that extend the little seat out for the gunner and stuff. That was a toy.
That was stupid. They were marketing toys to kids, and I was buying. They were cool. There were a lot of fun sequences in the movie, and it was just entertaining, but none of it made sense. A lot of times, they had some really interesting dialogue in there. I mentioned the one about Malcolm saying they cut you from the gymnastics team. They do that a bunch in the movie where this plot sucks or this character's undeveloped, and they have lines that these characters deliver that let you know, we know what we're doing here. It's fine. We're just going to carry on. I think probably the one character that actually had an arc was the hunter, right? Mm-hmm. He went there to hunt the dinosaur, and in the end, he says, I've spent enough time in the presence of death. And is he talking about InGen? Is he talking about the dinosaurs or what? I don't know. But he's come to terms with the fact that he doesn't need to go kill anything. He's lived his life, and he's going to go, I don't know.
I think
live in a cabin on the woods or something.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. I think, I can't think of the character name, Peter Stormare or whatever that character's name is. Yeah, I think that was his partner. And when he died, he lost his taste for it because he is very upset that guy died. And I think when they bagged the T-Rex, he looks up, like, what's wrong? He's like, oh, he didn't make it. And then he's like, I've lost a taste for death. And he's moved on. So I think he really does have an arc. Like, I think he grows in this movie. Like,
only character in the movie that does that.
Sure, for sure. But he spends his life hunting big game. This is the biggest game possible, but he lost his love to do it. And he's just out. Yeah, and I was okay with that. I was okay that we didn't see him in San Francisco.
I thought it was actually
we don't see him in the rest of the franchise.
Some of the better writing in the film, honestly. And his little monologue when he pops off to the guy about, you hired me to do this. Shut up and let me do it. That monologue was really cool too.
I think the only negative thing I have to say about that hunter is at the beginning when they're like first hunting down some of the dinosaurs, and he's got his little like booklet with the dinosaur names and descriptions, and he didn't bother to learn anything about these creatures that he's hunting. Like,
that was weird.
Most likely the most dangerous animals he'll ever come across, and he didn't bother to do any research before he came on the island. That was the only thing that bothered me about the character. And
he was so clearly there for the T-Rex.
For sure.
That's the only thing he cared about. I agree with you. I do agree with you.
A professional. Like, he's hunted everything. It's like you would know everything inside and out if that's what you're going to do. But that was for comedy. Again, it was all for comedy, but it just was like so bad.
Yeah. The bald one, Friar Tuck on the left.
Yeah. The Pompadour, the Elvis. Get him.
You are not supposed to be thinking about anything during that scene.
I know.
Other than how much your kid wants that toy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I have one more. This is just a curiosity thing, because maybe I'm wrong on this one. I don't mean to be super nitpicky. This is going to be a small one. But just legitimately, when they're in the double trailer thing and it's getting pushed off the edge, right? As soon as the first trailer goes off, the back door flies wide open and falls away.
Yeah.
And then she falls onto a gigantic trailer-sized pane of glass.
I know. I thought that exact thing. What was that?
Because like every other time I've watched this, I'm like, oh man, I hope that doesn't break. And this time I'm like, what? Why would you have a door that you can't access? And what? Like, I could not wrap my head around why that glass is there. Is there any like anybody in the chat? Anybody? Is there any logic to that other than just here's more tension?
Toy haulers have a drop down door on the back. That's it, and that's what that was. A big open door that comes out. There should be no pane of glass there.
Okay, cool. I wanted to make sure I wasn't just crazy on that one. It's not a big moment. Like, I didn't want to harp on it. It was just one of those like, what?
I
How
thought
did
the
I never
same
think
thing.
of this before?
And I was like, do I go back and watch that to see exactly what that was like? And I did not. I was like, nope, not worth it.
I did. I rewound it just to make sure that I did see the door fall off, and I'm like, yeah, no, that entire door is gone. Like,
yeah.
In fact, I could have swore when they were trying to muzzle the baby dinosaur inside, and the T-Rex walks around the back of it, and they don't even know it, and you're looking out that back window. That's like a half pane of glass. Yeah. It's like a shelf on the back with a half pane of glass. I could have swore it was not what they showcased it to be when she falls. Yeah. So I don't even know. It was kind of a little switcheroo thing there at the end.
Yeah, I think so.
We've harped pretty hard on this movie. It kind of deserves part of it. What about some of the things you did like? I think the music in this one, much like the first one, was really, really well done. I was a little sad it didn't really add very much to the original. Like it was basically that kid who did the homework, like stole the homework and tried to make it its own, but it didn't really add anything to it. It was just kind of like, yeah, we're John Williams. Like, it's still fantastic, but it is like, there's nothing in this movie that I can point to being that's the Lost World soundtrack versus that's the Jurassic Park soundtrack.
I didn't like the music to this one. I felt they did the same thing to the music that they did to the whole movie, which was take the same stuff, turn the volume up on it. And it was too much. It took me out. It was over the top. They should have either done the exact same music or subtle differences, but even bring it down a bit. Because it's such an iconic sound. When you hear it, you know you're hearing it. So you don't need to turn the volume up on this like they did. There were some points when it was just so overbearingly loud. I'm like, we get it. It's Jurassic Park. I saw the poster. Like, I didn't need it so in my face. So the music was a point where I was like, no, this is pushing it for me.
Fair enough. What about the look of the film? I know it's not as good as the original. I don't think it was quite as good as the original, but it's still very good for the time that it was made. Most of it, at least.
I think so. I think they did use more CGI, but I feel like it wasn't horribly overused. Again, in this one, they still used some animatronics. I think the baby T-Rex looked decent, but because they carried it so much, it kind of felt a little stiff in their arms. Like, it was like, I think a real animal would squirm even if they're hurt and tired.
It moved slow, right? Like it moved a little slow. Wait for it to wiggle.
It looked good, but its movement was a little stiff. And if they weren't carrying it so long for so many sequences, almost half the movie, they're running around with this thing. It felt like beginning, middle, and end. There's things everywhere.
They mentioned in the first movie that they clock a T-Rex doing 34 kilometers an hour, 33 kilometers an hour. And then this entire movie, they're outrunning a T-Rex everywhere they go. And I'm
especially
just like, okay.
at the end, when they drive through the warehouse and she's like, where's the T-Rex? Right behind them. Cut to them going on the boat. You don't see or hear the T-Rex until it eats that dude. I'm like, that's how it got on the boat and killed everybody without nobody. It's just stealth mode. It's like the Predator. It just goes invisible. I just couldn't believe the gaps in logic in this movie are incredible.
Well, and like in the riverbed, they're running away from the T-Rex through water on rocks. Like, none of them are going top speed for a human, which is, I don't even know what, but I'm guessing like 12 kilometers an hour. I don't know. Probably way less than that even. And they're outrunning a T-Rex en masse. It's not even like the outrunning a bear principle, right? Like, you only have to outrun your friend. Because one person falls, and the T-Rex just stomps them and keeps going anyway. So it's not like, oh, thank you for your sacrifice, Carlos. They're just that's
all you were supposed to focus on. This guy getting squished over and over again. That was the fun.
Yeah, he's carried 3 steps, man. That was
Nothing else matters.
As a kid, I did think that was cool.
Yeah, hilarious.
Yeah, there's so many. I don't want to just harp on, but there's so many things where I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make like, if you're in a jungle filled with dinosaurs, are you using headphones when you're on break? I wouldn't be. Let's distract myself from the potential killers that have ruined half of my, crew. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Sure. It progresses the plot. fine,
It does
whatever.
indeed. I feel like the music wasn't bad. The soundscape and the Foley was pretty good in the movie. There's lots of fun dinosaur sounds in this one, additional to the previous because of the different types of animals we saw. Again, yeah, the music I feel runs right. They kind of doubled down. It wasn't the worst because it still felt Jurassic Parky to me.
Yeah.
The CGI and animatronics were decent. But again, it's like that you can't carry the movie on that. I mean, they did. They made bank. Obviously, they made bank.
Made good money.
Absolutely. So they did carry the movie on that, but it doesn't set you up for a great movie, unfortunately.
I think the CGI was a notch better than the original myself. I go back and because I watched the two movies right in a row, and I noticed the first movie. I look at it and I go, okay, I see that that's CGI, and I can tell that we've progressed our ability much since this was made.
Yeah.
In the next movie, I don't remember noticing that. I just saw it as pretty clean. It looked pretty good. And so maybe they had a little bit better skill at doing it. I mean, I still know it's when it's CG and when it's animatronic and whatever. I think, like Will said, they did a pretty good job of using it when it was necessary and going with animatronic when they could. And so I thought it was okay. But the problems with the plot and where they land and how things progress and stuff makes this movie not hold up as well. As far as the look of it holds up better than the original. But the direction and the plot and the writing doesn't hold up and makes this movie kind of fall apart much, much worse than the original.
Oh, absolutely. I had fun with this movie. I still like it. It's not the original. It's not even close. It misses all the magic of the original. As we said before, like the first one is such an incredible experience. Like you said, like we both watched when we were quite young, Run probably will as well. You leave the theater thinking like cloning dinosaurs is possible. You don't leave the theater thinking, man, that was a lot of blood. In this movie, you get away from all that. Even like the very first time you see a dinosaur, when they first see the Stegosauruses, even that turns into a fight scene, right? Like none of it is just like, wow, this is so cool. Everything has to be dinosaurs attacking people.
Everything's dangerous, yeah.
I guess technically they see the compies first, but the actual main crew.
They have a lot of kills in this, like some weird unnecessary kills. Like the T-Rex eats a dude when he's running down the street, like a graphic, like eats him. And I was like, that guy, he wasn't good or bad. Like, why did we just kill a rando?
No. Let me correct you there, Run 7. You mean the guy running into the Blockbuster?
Yes.
That's the writer of the film. That's why he died, because he did a bad job.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I thought that was like a Ghostbusters homage. Like that reminded me of the dog eating the guy on the glass window. You know?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Well, maybe it is, but that was the writer of the movie.
No, really? He wrote himself in as a
other
death,
guy.
huh?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm sure they had the death in there, and they're like, "Hey, you want to do a cameo?" David Cope or whatever his name is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was a reason for him to die, because he did a terrible script.
Well, and the reason you bring in like an army of people is so you can watch an army of people get eaten.
Exactly.
Like you knew what you were getting into as soon as you saw that many people. Like, all right, there's gonna be like 6 survivors, so we got to whittle this down a little bit.
Yeah, my kids had to turn their head in number 2. They like with the compy attack when the guy jumps over the log and the blood's coming out from underneath it. They were like, "Is it over? Is it over?" I'm like, "Well, you can't see anything anyways."
Kids.
But I mean, them biting him up to that point.
Fair. I think on the lip was more graphic than I remembered.
And yeah, it was. And then they tore my favorite actor in half, and there was a lot that kind of happened in this one, and I just recognized that my kids who just watched the first one without any issues watched this one, and they were kind of a little freaked.
It is a different vibe, right? Yeah. It's darker tone.
It's much more dangerous. Yes, darker,
dangerous
all the time.
Yeah, well, they doubled down on all of the aggressiveness from the first one.
Yeah, and they even they attack a small child. Like the first thing you see is this 7-year-old girl getting attacked.
Yeah, no one is safe.
The first one had 5 deaths total. This one's got to have at least 30. Like not necessarily all on screen, but just by looking at the people and knowing like, okay, you don't all make it. So
that boat alone probably had 10 people on it.
Right. The dog dies at the end. Like, oh, it's just everybody. Nobody's safe.
Nobody's safe. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm ripping it apart, but like, It's not one that I'm going to revisit often, but I watched it. I had to watch over the course of a couple of days because it's just the way my schedule worked. I was never bored. Like I wasn't really looking at my phone or anything. And I've seen this movie a lot. Like I watched it in theaters. I saw it. Like I owned it on VHS back in the day. Like I've seen this movie quite a bit. I still sat down and enjoyed it. And like I haven't seen it in a while, so some of the scenes I'd totally forgotten about, like the Tyrannosaurus in the tent scene. I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot this happened.
More bad writing and bad characters.
It's stupid, but it's fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
They knew exactly what we were coming for. They didn't bother wasting their time on anything else. They said, hey, let's just make some really fun sequences. Maybe like Will said, they kind of went a little long. You know, how many times do you got to fall down that rope before you're finally going to get it right? You know, like just get there. Yeah, I was never bored. I was entertained all the way through. It was exciting. I didn't care about all this stuff. And I actually appreciated that when so often I would see this, most of the time, I would see this blatantly weird thing, they would have mention of it in the dialogue. The characters would come back around and say something about it to point out that this doesn't make any sense and we don't care. And a lot of times there was some stuff that they needed to like explain, like why would the Tyrannosaurus Rexes keep coming back to the car? She has this little speech she gives, just blurts it out in this like caffeinated rant, getting out that, yeah, they're parental and they're going to come back for their kid, right? Let's just get this out there as fast as we can. And then we're going to get back to the action sequence. So it was fun. It didn't need any of that other stuff. I got that from Jurassic Park 1. I wanted to see dinosaurs. I got to see dinosaurs.
I agree and disagree. I mean, I do enjoy that we got more dinosaurs, but I wouldn't have hated there being a plot that went all the way through the movie and made sense. You know, like that would have been okay with me. Not just we're going to get to the island and then we're going to get off the island. That's literally all it was.
5
Fury
more
Road of
attempts for the
Jurassic
plot.
Park.
So let's see what happens in upcoming episodes of our rating.
So I've only seen everything out from here on out. I've only seen once or not at all. So these are the only two that I've seen multiple times. So I actually legitimately am curious to rewatch 3 World and Lost Kingdom, I think it is.
I don't remember anything from here. Like I don't remember what 3 is about. I remember that World has a bigger theme park and like some fish dinosaurs, and there's like a predator dinosaur that goes invisible or something. I don't remember. I don't. So it's going to be basically fresh turf for me to walk on, and I'm looking forward to it. I think I have a guess that they're all going to be pretty trash, but maybe fun.
I remember literally one thing from Lost Kingdom, and that is Forgotten Kingdom. I don't know, whatever that one's called. Is the raptor is essentially like a Freddy Krueger. Like the little girl's hiding in her bed, and the raptor's like reaching up to like take her bedcloth like off of her instead of just like pouncing on the bed. I'm like, what is happening right now? Like,
nice.
Okay,
Amazing.
cool. It's gonna be an interesting rewatch.
I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully they're fun and we can sit through them. If they're ludicrous enough, I'll watch anything. If it's just bad and boring, that's going to be something else. But it's dinosaurs, so it can't be boring.
It can only be so boring, right? And like,
yeah.
I don't know. They always seem to bring in decent cast members that I like. So
don't they have a hamster bubble they ride around in? I'm looking forward to that.
Jurassic World. Yeah.
Okay. You want to get to some ratings? Because I don't have anything else to go over. We're bashing this thing on the head.
Yeah,
which is funny because I think this is probably one of the better ones that we're going to watch in the next couple of weeks. So it's like, it's all downhill from here.
Ooh.
Maybe we'll find something. We might find nuggets.
Brian, why don't you go first? You were the one that said you did have fun with
so
this one.
my original score before talking it out with you guys was a 61, and that didn't fluctuate at all. I think we're all in agreement on this. You guys gave me clarity, and I feel good about what I put down. The plot in this movie is non-existent. It's atrocious, and it's full of holes, if there is any to be found anywhere at all. However, like I said, they did have some decent aspects of writing where they kind of give a nod to the audience and just let us know that they know they're kind of jerking around on this one. I thought the acting was good enough. It wasn't amazing, but they weren't given characters to develop or for you to get attached to. The one character I did get attached to got detached from his upper half halfway through the film. And so, I didn't care. I mean, honestly, when the little girl in the movie is impressing me, she's paired with some trash to make her look good. So the acting wasn't great, but it didn't take me out of it. We're here for the dinosaurs, right? The direction, I don't know. I think they were just counting money the whole time. I thought the special effects were just a notch under its predecessor in that they used more CG and not enough animatronics. When they did use the animatronics, they looked stiff. And so that but otherwise still really good, great for its time. And I never, like, the moments when I noticed that this is an animatronic dinosaur was never during an exciting action sequence. Probably because they use CGI during most of those. But when it took me out, it was usually during a slow spot when I was looking for flaws. And that's when I found them. The music I did not appreciate. It was way over the top. They needed to dial that back down 3 or 4 points. But overall, it was fun. I enjoyed watching it. I had a good time with my kids, and they're looking forward to the next movie. And that's what you want in a movie, is to be entertained, right? So all these things really brought it down, but such a high fun score for just being an entertaining film and really kind of nailing the entertainment value of those sequences. It's going to come in at a 61 for me.
All right. Sounds good. Will, you want to go next?
Sure. I'm gonna be short and to the point. I agree a lot with what Brian said. I'm just gonna read something here that Steven Spielberg said in an interview in 2016 with the New York Times. My sequels aren't as good as my originals because I go on to every sequel I've made, and I'm too confident. This movie made $1 gazillion, which justifies the sequel, so I come in like it's gonna be a slam dunk, and I wind up making an inferior movie to the one before. I'm talking about The Lost World and Jurassic Park. That pretty much sums it up for me. This movie's a 64 out of 100 for me. I feel like it does fit the genre pretty well. It does hold up as far as like entertainment and the CGI and the animatronics. It's still a fun dinosaur movie, but the script is horrendous. And you just have to forget that if you want to enjoy this popcorn movie.
Very nice. All right. I'm going to take 10 seconds and do the math, and then I
do some tallies.
Yeah, if you guys want to just do that up.
Yeah, for sure.
Windstorm, I saw your comments in chat, buddy.
Same.
I know you're saying it's San Diego, but I'm not finding anything online about San Diego. I'm finding that they did film a ton of this in California. I know that San Diego isn't too far away from San Francisco. I just don't know. I don't know. I could have swore it was supposed to be San Francisco was the dock that they make landfall in at the end. But now that you do mention it, San Diego would be closer to Isla Sorna or whatever that island is. It could very well be San Diego. I don't know.
You know what? Now that he says that, I think he's right, actually. I think I do recall them saying it's the park that they built is in the San Diego because San Diego has all these great attractions. So I think Windstorm is correct there that it is a San Diego dock, in which case I have no idea what the layout of that city is, but San Francisco, the layout fits.
Yeah. I don't know the layout from the suburbs. I don't know where the suburbs are in San Diego.
Fair enough,
I went through that area.
Thank you for letting us know, Windstorm, because we pride ourselves on all the accuracies in the world here.
Green Tuckian Will came in with a 74, or I'm sorry, a 64. I had a 61, and we're waiting patiently for Dan to give his scores. So we're just kind of hanging out with chat while he's
tallying up the final numbers as well. Yeah. Or maybe he'll keep it in because we're just so damn charming.
I doubt that. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know. Just the doubling down on everything just got to me eventually. I was just like, oh, yeah, it's too much, you guys. It's just too much.
I really did like the Tyrannosaurus scene with the bus. I thought that was just fun. Him running back and trying to tie ropes and chains and drive the car and all that stuff. Them climbing up and down the rope. It did get ridiculous when it was like the third or fourth time when they slide down the rope. And I'm like, come on, what are you doing?
Yeah. And I also just think it's just kind of weird that the T-Rexes are like, okay, well, now we got our baby back. Let's go back and trash this trailer. Okay, now we've trashed the trailer. Now let's go back and see what this other car is doing. Like, it just doesn't make sense for a wild animal to be doing that to me, in my mind.
Yeah, to keep coming back.
Yeah, it just is so weird. And like, how many times do they say life finds a way in this one? It's just off the rails as well. Everybody's saying life finds a way. It's just everything. It's just so much of everything in this movie.
The raptors seem to have a very easy time attacking some people and a very hard time attacking other people. And I was like, how come this raptor cannot get through that car door?
Right.
But I'm seeing them like scale buildings and rip through walls and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
That said, one of the cooler sequences was the raptors going through the tall grass coming towards
that was cool. Seeing the grass come down.
That looked fun. Sure. But I'd say one of the worst parts and treating your audience like they're complete idiots was the Vince Vaughn when he's like, oh, I see the hunter's gun here while I'm talking to what's her name. And then later you see the guy aim and shoot nothing. He's like, oh, they took my bullets and sabotaged me. And then at the end, when they're on the chopper, Vince Vaughn's like, hey, he'll never kill that Rex now because he has
one
the
trophy he won't get
in his hands. How many times do you have to show the same thing before the audience just is not interested anymore because you're boring us?
I can actually one up that as far as like making the audience look stupid. There's actually a worse part in the movie that I was going to touch on.
Oh, boy.
I thought it was weird how he literally pulled the bullet out of the casing.
Yes. That's
it. And I was that's a lot of work to take his ammo. Like, really?
He's probably got boxes back in his briefcase. Like, what are you doing?
Just pull the rounds out. That's it. Like,
so funny. So funny.
Okay. So at the beginning of the movie, Malcolm goes to see Dr. Hammond, right? Mm-hmm. And he's talking to him in his chamber, and he's like, well, I want to send a team of 4 people, and I've already got your girlfriend there and 2 others, and I need you. And Malcolm talks about how awful that is and whatnot. And Malcolm's like, all right, well, I'm going to go, and I'm going to turn this into a rescue mission. He leaves. And Hammond goes, oh, that's okay.
Amazing.
Like he has to sit there and count to 4 and figure it out on his hand. Like,
it was so dumb.
An eccentric billionaire can't count to 4. Like, it's just like, okay.
And I love
it entirely for the audience to be like, oh wait, he got what he wanted. Yeah, good for him. It's like, wow, they think we're stupid. Okay, cool.
Yeah, really set the pace for this movie.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, honestly, if we're going to let all this stuff slide, they might think we are that dumb.
I know. That's the sad part.
All right. Sorry, I got Windows open. Got the numbers ready to go. Let's do this. All right. So similar to last week, my score is coming in a little higher than these guys, albeit it was even higher before we started having this conversation and just talking our way through everything that doesn't make sense and just laughing about it. And it was kind of like, even parts that I did kind of enjoy, these guys pointed out like just how incredibly ridiculous they are. And it's like, I knew it was dumb, but I was having fun with it. But then talking about how incredibly dumb it is, like, oh yeah, like just processing it out loud, I guess. So I still find this movie fun. This is one that I could see myself watching again, which is not something I'm likely to say about Jurassic Park 3 or maybe other ones after that. I saw Jurassic Park 3 in theaters, never went back to it. Don't imagine I'm going to after this. I can see myself watching this movie again at some point. It is popcorn movie, right? Like, it's the kind of thing you just turn your brain off and you just enjoy watching dinosaurs go to town. As far as the music goes, I didn't have the problem Brian had with it. I thought it was still actually really well done. It just didn't add anything. It just kind of took notes from the first one and just kind of did the same thing. As far as the look of the movie goes, I think the animatronics were a little bit worse, but the CGI was a little bit better. So overall, I think it did look pretty much kind of on par with the first movie. The acting, I didn't necessarily have a problem with, but the writing in this was atrocious. So I think that's where a good chunk of the problem is. Because, like, I know Jeff Goldblum's a decent actor. I know Richard Schiff is a good actor. I don't mind Vince Vaughn. I know Julianne Moore is a good actor. Pete Postlewaite's great. Like, it's got a good cast. They just have the dumbest lines possible to say and do. Like, the raptor scene The raptors in the first movie would have murdered all of them in seconds. And in this one, it's like a Benny Hanna sketch where they're like jumping through windows and closing off doors. And like, it was just so silly. And you just have to just ignore everything you know. Even the way the raptors hunt is different than they said it would be in the first one. They explained very accurately how the raptors hunt in the first movie. And in this one, they just chase people. It was frustrating. The San Diego, thank you, Windstorm, scene was fun. Really stupid, but it was fun. It was kind of cool to see a Tyrannosaurus in the real world. Sue me. It took me back to when I was a kid. I enjoyed it. So overall, I gave this movie a little bit higher than the other guys did. I went with a full 77 on this one. I liked it. I don't love it. It's got some massive holes, but I like it. Which means if we're looking at our overall scores, let me share the screen. Boop. Oh, I hate that look. Why does it never do what I want it to do? Sorry. Ignore the screen for a second.
Just don't ignore the curtain. The man behind the curtain. Ignore the man behind the curtain.
I opened it up in a window. Where did it go? Did I close the window? I probably closed the window. This can all get edited in post. Look at me giving myself work to do later.
Means I can do anything right now. Just shake my rogue energy however I want.
Please you can. That in. That's going in after the episode for sure.
That's on the OnlyFans, everybody. Okay. Where we only watch porn franchises.
All right, so totaling up these guys' scores and my own, I'm still coming in pretty high on this one. I did drop from 100 after the first movie to an 89, and Brian and Will kind of met in the middle there, both sitting at a 74, bringing this movie down to an 80, or this franchise so far down to an 80. Now, I have to assume this franchise is only going to go lower and lower. Do you think this franchise, when it's done, is going to be in like Gremlins territory? Is going to be lower than that? Like, again, I've only seen the next ones once or not at all. How low do you think it's going to go? Or do you think it has a bar of like, it's dumb, but it's fun, and you know, it's fine living in like that 60 range?
We're a bunch of dino loving man children. I think the fun factor is going to keep this afloat a bit, but I know that as movie critics, we're going to rip these next ones apart also. So yeah, it could probably come down there at Gremlins level. I do think it could get under 60, under 65.
Yeah, I think because the first one's such a gem of a movie, I just don't think it'll dip that low. I'd guess closer to like a Predator range.
Okay. I could live with this being in the Predator range by the time it's all said and done. Now, we can cut there and just kind of, we've discussed, and I'm just going to throw this out to the audience, just see what people think. We've discussed whether or not we cut this at Jurassic Park and have a 3-movie franchise, and then have Jurassic World as a 4-movie franchise and have those be separate, or whether or not we just have the Jurassic Park be a 7-movie franchise. I'm curious. I know, Brian, you said you don't really care. You just want to come here and hang out. For the audience, what do you guys think? Because they are called different things. So as far as putting them on the board, it'd be very easy to separate them. And honestly, we were going to take a break and do Anchorman and Venom in between anyways. So do we just cap it off at Jurassic Park, leave it at that, or do a full 7? The other thing is with 7 movies, as we saw with Aliens, the final score just stops moving at some point, which is a little anticlimactic.
Yeah, it's minor ticks along the way for sure, whether it's because the movies themselves kind of sit at a so-so level, it seems, right?
Yeah.
They're good enough to keep making money, to keep making more sequels. So that's what it seems to do.
I think as long as they're in the same world, they have the possibility of being one complete franchise. And Jurassic Park and Jurassic World are in the same world.
That's in my mind, that's how I thought of it as well, just because there's like, and I had a bad example, but a better example is Dune, the original Dune series, and then when they rebooted it, it's not the same world. It's a whole new franchise. It's a whole new world. Whereas, Jurassic Park and Jurassic World specifically relates back to the old movies and has characters from the old movies kind of throughout them.
That's the thing that kills it for me, is the fact that in Jurassic World they bring back the three main characters for the third movie. I think it is the one I haven't seen. That's the one that kind of destroys my argument, because otherwise I'd be like, no, I would separate them. Because the other thing I would be like, if we're going to do Star Wars, I would do 3 trilogies as opposed to 1 9-movie franchise.
Right.
Or as a better example, if we ever do Rocky and Creed, I would say those are 2 very different franchises, despite the fact that they take place in the same world.
I agree. And I kind of like to see where the quasi reboot of Jurassic Park compares to its original. Even though it's the same world, I'd kind of like to see, how does Jurassic World compare to Jurassic Park? I do think it is the same world and does belong in one rating, but I'm also happy seeing how they compare. Like you said with Star Wars, I want to see, how does 4, 5, and 6 compare with 1, 2, and 3, and 7, 8, and 9?
I have guesses, but yeah.
I want to know. I want to know where that comes out. And so I do kind of want to break them up just so we can get a little bit better dissection.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it'd be great to make Dan do even more work and have them broken up, but also have the unified theory of movies where we bring them all together.
That's pretty good. Anytime you say more Dan work, I'm on board.
Yeah, more work for Dan. Let's do this.
For sure. So the other thing in my brain, if a movie franchise has a very obvious cutoff point, I'm okay with doing it. Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, they're named different things. That's an easy point. The Star Wars trilogy, there's 3 separate trilogies. You refer to them as the originals, the prequels, and the sequels. That makes sense to me. Rocky, Creed, that makes sense to me. But then you take a look at something like The Fast and the Furious, and there's 10 movies, and there's no break-off point. Those are just
even within Aliens, we have the David movies that are so different from the rest of it. We could have separated that out.
And honestly, I was going to talk to you about that. If they do make a third one and they give that, I don't know if they'll call it the David trilogy, but if they call that something, I could see us retroactively taking that, scooping that out and being like, this is over here now, and this is Aliens. Because all the other ones are called Alien something, and if those ones retroactively became David Prometheus, that's a terrible title, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Creation, the Prometheus, like, I could see that being a separate thing retroactively.
I think it's interesting to look at both in comparison. I genuinely, I mean, I don't want to make Dan do more work, but I genuinely would like to see what these things look like compared to themselves and how they change as a franchise when you lump them all together.
Well, and the other thing is, I was talking about doing a website at some point, and if I ever do get around to doing that, then like each movie franchise can be a link, and you can go through, and we can, have our scores there. And then that way, everybody, if they're just like, "Oh man, I totally missed, the Mad Max episode, but I don't really want to watch 3.5 hours because my God, that was a terrible idea." So I can just go back and check that and get all the scores of the Mad Max movies in 10 seconds instead of that long. I did recently re-listen to that. I liked it. I thought it was fun, but I don't expect anybody else to sit through that much Mad Max talk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a lot going through the whole franchise. That's for sure.
Well, because I didn't want to take so much of your guys' time and to be like, no, I want you every single week. But when you guys volunteered to do it every week, it was like, oh, this makes way more sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I think it's tricky. And again, Evil Dead can do the same thing, right? You'd have the 100%. 3 Evil Dead, or the first 3 Evil Deads, and then you have now the kind of new aged Evil Deads that are expanding that universe. Again, we are theorizing that they're all connected, but they are kind of offshoots at this point. So
at the end of the day, we're making this up as we go.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So if things change, just deal with it, chat.
Oh man. Yeah,
that's all I got.
And, hopefully, Dan, at least short term, if you want me to work on some of this stuff, I'm going to have some free time coming up. So I could probably put it on my plate and maybe make a expanded list. If you want, you could just work on the conglomerate list and I'll expand the list and shoot you back over the same thing. If you still have the PDF with the numbers, right? All the stats.
Oh yeah. I've got that written down.
I could probably spend some time breaking it down.
What I don't have, and I don't know. As I mentioned, like, we have a blog, or if I do make a website and we do have it broken down, it'd be great to get like, a 1-paragraph blurb from you guys on each movie. I recognize the further down the road we get, the more work that is from you. I can even just take clips from the episode and just be like, do you agree with this? And go from there. But I don't know. We'll figure that out as we go. As of right now, it seems ridiculous to. I'm already doing so much stupid stuff, like as if this is all going to expand and become really big. It's like, maybe we just wait till it actually gets big, and then we worry about the website and stuff like that. But
Yeah, you lay the groundwork.
for sure. All right, let me do an outro, and then we can. Are you guys around for a little bit, or you guys got to take off?
I got nothing going on.
Yeah, I got like 2 minutes.
2 minutes is all I need, bud.
I know.
Yep. You're not the only. Never mind. All right, and that has been. Wait, I don't know if you were laughing during the very beginning of that. All right,
I'm not laughing anymore.
Shit.
Okay, I'll be good. I'll be good.
I doubt it. I can literally just turn you guys off, but whatever. All right, and that has been our rating of Jurassic Park: The Lost World. What do you guys think? Were we way too harsh on this one? Did you enjoy us ripping it apart? Are you looking forward to us talking about Jurassic Park 3 next week? Leave a comment down below letting me know what you thought about this movie, what you thought about this review. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. You made it this far in the video. You must have enjoyed it. And hit subscribe if you want more great content like this going forward. We record this live over at twitch.tv/The Mongoolie Show. So head over there and hit the follow button so you can hang out with us live on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time while we're recording this. You guys have a great night, and we'll catch you next time. Later, everybody. All right.
Dan, are you losing weight? You look good. Maybe it's black is slimming on you and it's that black hat shirt or something, but I don't know. You look good tonight.
I appreciate that. This is my first time recording this episode with the camera here. Like, I just got a second monitor, so I actually have like a high-res monitor now. But the problem is now I can't have like a forward-facing camera, so it's like kind of up and off to the side. I like the
off-angled camera.
I kind of do like it. I like the angle it has on me. I like less the angle it has on the background. Like, I feel like I need to put something more interesting here now.
Sure, but your room now has geometry. It's got some angles to it and everything. But you're right. Put something on the wall there. But it's brick walls are beautiful for backgrounds. You hang a few things on them and they look good.
Is that real brick?
It is absolutely not. It is wallpaper.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to bow out for 10 seconds. I just need to run to the washroom. I'll be right back.
Just walk, man. Take your time. He's always in such a rush.
I guess so, yeah. So, Will, are you still doing...
I have a purple sticky bladder, and we record for an hour and a half straight. I'm just trying here, guys. I'm trying real hard.
Okay, run.
Are you still doing... Are you doing IRL streams like once a month or trying to do it every week?
No, I try to do one once a month just because I can't afford a weekly IRL.
Right. What's your Friday stream schedule like?
I typically start streaming at what time is it? 8 Eastern-ish, which is 7 your time, I think.
Yeah, okay.
And I just kind of stream into the night.
Okay, yeah, because we used to do. I used to do what was it? When did we do happy hour? Was way late, and I hated staying
pretty late.
Yeah, it was like 10 p.m. my time, and I hated staying up that late. And then at 2, I would get caught in there, and those guys would get so drunk you couldn't like make an. I learned to just literally just be like, interrupt, say bye, and just leave. Like that was all you could do.
That's all you can do. Yeah.
So I'm trying to do happy hour as an hour, maybe 2 at the most. But then I always liked Friday nights. It was like cleaning agent stream and happy hour. Those are my places to go on Friday nights. So I'm kind of thinking I'm going to try and do the 6 o'clock my time, which will be I don't know what time, and then
8 o'clock for me.
1 hour and lead into yours, and then I'll be hanging out at your stream afterwards.
I appreciate if that's your plan. I would also be happy to hop in as a guest on happy hour.
Absolutely, it's going to be open to any content creators and anybody with a decent microphone. In fact,
nice. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
I did see a little bit of it last week, and I was kind of sad that I couldn't hang around for more. Friday nights are generally family night for me, but right now my kids have skating first thing in the morning Saturdays. So I generally will like get up early, drop them off at the rink, come back here, start streaming. My wife picks them up from the rink. So I've been starting streaming earlier on Saturdays, but that means they're also going to bed earlier. So depending on when you're doing happy hour, I could potentially pop in at like 9 my time, which would be like, what, 8 your time?
Yeah, probably.
So that's not terrible. I don't know what time you're planning on doing it.
And it just depends if if we're in a good conversation and chatting away, then I'll let it run long. But I don't really want
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
Like, I'm going to be streaming 5 days a week in the mornings. I don't need to be doing an afternoon stream on Fridays and late night streams on Saturday, Sunday. I'll burn out.
Yeah, that's true.
So I want to just keep it a short one, and I'm just going to have some topics that if things slow down, I'm gonna ask questions to the guests and whoever comes on, keep the conversation going. But usually people come in and they're like, I just broke up with my girlfriend. I'm like, okay, we're talking about that for the next hour.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Kind of goes the way it goes sometimes, depending on the guests, which is good too in its own way, right? Like it's there to talk and just converse about life, and it's good.
And I need an outlet because I've got a lot of free time on my hands coming up, and I want to make sure that I stay busy. So getting back to a regular stream schedule, having some projects of love to work on like this, like a happy hour stream, something where I can put a few, try and build up my emotes and get my scenes filtered and spend some time working on that stuff, the technical aspects of streaming that I have not had the time to do. I now have the time to work on that stuff, and I want to do it. And I want to start making regular scheduled content too. I got some great ideas for that. And Dan's got his HOTAS sticks so he can fly his spaceship with me, and we're going to be space buddies together, aren't we?
I sure hope so. I have no idea when I bought those, and I was like so excited, and then I got the monitor and they just went over there, and then I was like toying around with the new monitor, and then it's just been a week. So it's like, I don't know what's going on. I do have some time off coming up. Not this week, but actually this week coming up, for the record, for anybody watching, is my late week. So there won't be a pre-show. Our rating will probably start like right at 9:00, maybe even like 5-10 minutes after 9:00. Just be prepared for that. But after that, I have a week off. So hopefully I'm going to get some streams in during the day, get some editing done. I'd love to get caught up on some stuff. I feel like I am just falling further and further and further behind. I like having our rating not be caught up so that people can kind of watch our rating live, and maybe like by the time it comes out, they're like, oh yeah, that was a fun episode, but it's been a month. So like, I kind of want to watch it again, as opposed to if it came out like the next day, they'd be like, yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I kind of want to get them so they're edited and just sitting there ready to go, as opposed to like me panicking on Sunday being like, I got to get this out the door. And also, like, if I was to edit this right now, I feel like it'd probably be easier because it'd be like, okay, I remember the conversation.
Fresh. Yeah.
Whereas like in 3 weeks when I'm editing, I'll be like, okay, well, I need to, like, what do I need to find from the movie to make sure that it's ready to go? So I kind of have to like go through the episode, write down timestamps, and it can get longer than I expect it to. It doesn't feel like it should take that long to edit, and then every time it does, mostly because I get distracted.
Do you ever just end up watching the movies again because you just enjoy them? Yeah, okay.
like scenes for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
makes sense.
I get lost when I'll do some research for a movie. Like I'll be like, oh, that scene was really cool. I wonder if there's a back behind the scenes on how they did it or something. And then like 3 hours later, I'll pull myself out of YouTube, having watched every behind the scenes and extra script and all that stuff of the movies. Yeah. And it was like, that was really consuming my time. So I was letting Will take that. Will likes to do the research. I'm like, I've
tried to pull away from that a little bit as well because of the same thing. It just like, it takes a lot of time to just like look into it. And some things I'm like, I know about just from past and remembering things when I watch the movie. I'm like, oh yeah, I heard about this or that or the other thing.
Yeah.
So I'll like go for those things specifically now, but like it's so easy to just fall down the rabbit hole because there's so many like stories and behind the scenes nowadays that it's just everywhere.
And especially we're dealing with franchises. Franchises don't happen for garbage movies. So the first movie at least is going to be a good one. And so there's always going to be a lot of other stuff, other videos and things and information out there about those good movies.
Yeah.
It's the issue that I have when I'm editing, and I don't want to change the conversation, but like I don't want to change the way we record is what I meant to say. We'll be talking about something, we'll be like, oh my god, this one scene where the raptor jumps out of the screen and he like eats the guy, and then the T-Rex is doing this, and then there's that scene with the Stegosaurus, and I'll be editing, I'll be like, okay, well, all of those scenes are like 30 seconds long, and you said them in 8 seconds for all 3 scenes.
Yeah,
which one do I choose, or do I just have like a snapshot of all and just like give the audience whiplash, or like but then other times we'll be talking about like, you know, David fingering himself for like 10 seconds. I'll be like, oh, I can put all of that there. Cool. I can have that entire scene. That'll be perfect.
That's
I mean, not the entire scene. The entire scene's like 2 minutes long. But you don't know. Enough scene that the audience can see what they're looking at.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
and
I like
by
the
the way,
part, though.
if you don't know what he's talking about, that's a sequence in the Alien Covenant film where David is playing the flute with an older version or a newer version of himself. So not our buddy David fingering himself for 8 minutes
while we talk about it.
Yeah. If you want to see that content, go to our OnlyFans page.
Yeah.
Head over to OnlyDans.
Yeah. Dan's got 4 YouTubes and an OnlyFans.
Oh my goodness. No, but like editing, I actually tend to enjoy these movie things because like, hello, did we lose me or Will?
I don't know.
Sorry. It was me.
No, we're good. Okay, Will's just very still. Okay, no, sorry. Go ahead, Will.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say that. I from what I've seen, I try to watch most of the edits once you put them through. I like the amount of things that you put in. So whatever you're doing, keep it up.
Yeah, I agree.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
it's looking good.
It's fun for me. Like the first time I go through and I'm just listening to us, is tough because it's like an hour and a half. Some of them we've gotten a little bit longer, and it's like we should really start cutting back a little bit. Because I can't do anything else, because I need to be writing down timestamps for what I need to get. So like if we're talking about
you got to focus,
Jurassic World, and we're like, oh man, that Stegosaurus scene, I need to be like, okay, 10 minutes and 13 seconds Stegosaurus. And if I'm playing something on my phone while I'm doing that, I'll just be listening to the conversation, get lost in the conversation, and I'll be like, oh, there's like 23 minutes here where I don't have any scenes written down. That's a problem. Right. But if I'm just sitting here, just like, it's hard to just focus on people who are just talking. So I naturally like get distracted by what's on the second monitor, and all of a sudden I'm watching Will's stream, and now it's been an hour and I haven't done anything, and I'm like, fuck, okay, sorry, Will, gotta go click delete. But once you get to the point where like I've got the timestamps and I've watched the movie and cut it up to the parts that I want, and then I'm integrating it, I find that incredibly satisfying. Where I'm just going through and making cuts. And like, there's been a couple of times where like one of you guys will quote the movie, or at least somewhat quote the movie, like, get away from her, you bitch. And I'll try and line it up as best I can so that like you are saying it as Ripley's mouthing it. And you're like, I try to make that work. And it's like, that's fun for me. It doesn't always work out, but that's fun for me.
Yeah, they're fun little finds for sure.
Yeah. I don't hate the editing, but it does take a while.
You mentioned that you want to dial back on the cursing, and it was funny that you had that conversation with us. This is behind the scenes kind of thing. It was funny that you mentioned that because I was editing last month's clips for my stream, and I put it together, and I was like, I kind of think that maybe I should stop cursing because I want my kids to be able to watch this stuff. So I need to try and curb this. And so I was like, okay, I'll bleep all of last month's curse words. There were so many bleeps in my intro. Granted, the servers were having a field day in Star Citizen. I was having a really bad month with that.
Right.
And I was going on some rants left and right. But it was just, I mean, it was a lot of bleeping. And then you came in and said that, and I was like, oh man, I gotta figure out a way to dial it back. So I think we didn't drop a single bomb this episode, right?
I hope. I don't know.
Not in the usable.
I know. I specifically said what the F at one point.
Yeah,
but literally. F.
I mentioned that in the chat. I'm like, man, we really need to cut back on swearing. And then like 2 minutes later, I'm like, Will, do you swear? Because like you're saying like frick and what the F and like avoiding it like the plague. I'm just like, okay, cool. All right. But yeah, I just did Alien Covenant, and like sometimes there's one, maybe two that I put like a little chicken noise in instead of the F-bomb. And this one I was like 9. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's getting excessive.
Yeah, I don't know why. I've made a conscious choice to not swear as much, and then I kind of doubled down on it when my kid was born, just because I was like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's super funny when you see little kids with trucker mouths, but I didn't want that to be my kid, because you don't want to be in public with those kids, but seeing those kids is pretty funny on a one-off.
My youngest dropped an F-bomb when she almost fell off her chair the other day. My wife and I was like, okay, time for some life changes. Like, not okay.
So I try to consciously make an effort, but obviously it doesn't always work out.
Well, because we talked in chat, like, oh, can you just turn that off? And I think Brian said that he can. And I'm like, I can turn it off like around my parents or at work, but when I'm around friends, it just, I feel so comfortable, like it just happens. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
I find it a lot harder.
If this helps you at all, you could
We're not friends.
You could just start calling me daddy, and then.
I mean, I do in my head. You want me to do it in real life too?
I don't want to be a part of this exchange.
What's the matter, mommy? What's going on?
I was really not. I didn't even want to say that, but that's what I wanted to avoid. I have a hard time when I do the scary games and I jump.
Yeah,
right. I say Jesus Christ all the time, and I want to be respectful and not say that so much, but it just comes out.
Yep.
And then I say the F word all the time. Those are like my go-to jumps. And so that's the only time I have a hard time doing it is when I'm playing the scary games late at night. But I kind of figure that audience is going to be fine. And that's mostly why I'm doing it is Will, you talk about, you don't want your kids to hear it and everything. I don't want my kids to hear it either. I want to have like classy material that my kids can show off to their friends or whatever. They'll never do that. But
look how cool my dad is.
Yeah,
this guy calls him mommy.
Yeah, that's never. Yeah, there you go. No, but I do know that when you're streaming, you will never offend a cursor by not cursing, but you will offend people who don't curse by cursing, and so you don't really gain anything by having all the foul language in your streams and videos. And so I want to try and reduce that as much as possible to be as unoffensive to people as possible, because it doesn't need to happen. There's that occasion when you drop that crispy F-bomb, and Clean, you did it on my stream once when we were playing Vermintide. It was so funny because you don't curse a lot. And you were like, I was like, oh, you're getting kind of spicy with the language there. And you're like, it's not my stream. I don't fucking care.
That's right. I remember that actually. I remember that.
And it was the well-placed one, When Mother Teresa curses, everyone stops to listen.
Right.
But, if some stand-up comedian's laying out the F-bombs all his whole act, no one cares. You're used to it.
True. Well, and that's kind of what I think. Like if it's an exclamation mark, it stands out a little bit. But when it becomes a comma, which it is for me, unfortunately, you're right. You might offend people, right? You might like if you're watching a stream and you don't like swearing and he lets out one in a 4-hour stream, you might go like, okay, so be it.
Especially if it's well placed and dramatic too.
Sure, if it's funny even.
Yeah.
But if it's like every third word, like you're just going off, you're going to lose that viewer.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Dorky Rage, Dorky's kind of mastered popping off as a way to keep viewers engaged, I think.
I like to take a little bit of credit for Dorky's vibrance, because I used to hassle him back when he first started, and I'd say, hey man, you are not showing enough emotion. You are not getting animated enough. And one day he was having a really bad day and he blew up on stream and it went MSF viral, you know?
Yeah.
Like it was a big thing. And he was like, I found the sweet spot. I found what's going to work for me. I found how I can get animated. And so he did it. And he really leans into the Dorky Rage stuff. So
yeah. No, it's good.
So I don't watch a lot of Dorky, especially not now that I do MSF. The most interesting I found him was one episode where he was just James. Like he was just being James. He didn't have any of that like bolster up, I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I like this dude. This dude I could see myself hanging out with. But a lot of times he is that like ragey, dorky dad guy. And I'm just like, it's too much. I'm not trying to start any beef with anybody. I don't care enough. I'm just saying like when he was James, I really liked James.
His chat is rough, and he used to hang out in alliances that were very toxic, and he's just used to that like aggressive nature too. So I don't know. I think he's a great content creator, and he's come a long ways.
Oh, for sure. Anyways.
Right, everybody's got their flavor,
I was trying to praise James, not shit on Dorky, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's totally fair.
No.
That's totally fair. All right, gentlemen. On that note, I got to peace out. I appreciate you.
Thanks for hanging out.
What are we watching next week? Jurassic Park 3.
Jurassic Park 3. And then we're going to watch the Anchorman 1 and 2. And then we kind of talked about this a little bit, but we're going to go Venom after that. And then into Jurassic World.
Yeah. Either way, I haven't seen the Anchorman, so I'm excited because...
You've never seen either of them?
Nope.
Wow.
Yep.
That shocks the hell out of me. Not like I've never seen the second one.
First comedy on the list too, so that's cool.
I mean, some people would argue Gremlins, but I'm with you. This is our first comedy, yes.
Pure comedy, I guess, yeah.
I've never seen 2. I'm blown away you've never seen one. Have you seen either of them, Brian?
I've seen both of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
so this is going to be interesting. So you've seen both. I've only seen one. He hasn't seen any. This is going to be a first.
Yeah, it's just something that it passed by me. It was like, I heard about it. It was like all the rage. And I was like, oh, it's Will Ferrell. I'm not a huge Will Ferrell guy. So I just didn't get around to it. And then at some point, I was just like, well, there's no point. Number 2 came out and then I heard it wasn't as good. And I was like, okay, well, there's no reason for me to see that. Why am I going to watch the first one? I just passed me by.
Nope, so, that's fair. It happens.
We'll see how it goes.
I'm super curious. I watched them a lot when they came out. Everybody was quoting them constantly. I haven't seen them in 20 years. Very curious if it holds up at all, or if it's just like, oh, okay.
Because it was one of those in the time comedies, right?
Well, that's just it. Like, humor is not only super subjective, but it's also mostly in a bubble. Like, it only lasts for so long. Like, you don't always, like, some Monty Pythons, things like that are.
There's some universal humor, but yeah.
Sure.
With the advent of Happy Gilmore 2, we could add that to our comedic list too.
That's right. I'm not sure when that's coming out.
I'd be okay with that. I'd love to get some bit more. I think it was funny because I think we were talking about like, okay, let's get away from like monsters killing things. We've done a lot of sci-fi killing stuff. All right, audience, what do you want to see? Jurassic Park. Like, cool, monsters killing stuff. Like, so I'm like, I'm pretty okay with getting into like Anchorman for a little bit, just getting completely into a different genre.
Yeah, the thing I'm looking forward to with Anchorman is a lot of improvisation. I enjoy good improvisation, so I'm hopeful that it'll be funny in that way. But
I hope it works for it. I hope it holds up.
Yeah.
I'm curious that you've never seen it, but
yeah, exactly. All right, well,
bud. Have a great night.
Later. Thanks, chat. Thank you. And even you, Windstorm. Thank you, buddy. Have a good night.
All right.
That's a big dinosaur. I thought you
were going to say that's a big Dan. Like, I can zoom out. That's rude.
No, this dinosaur behind me here.
Is it just your camera, or do you sit like really low in your chair?
I'm sitting real low in my chair right now. I'm just this is regular height, and here I am centered. So that's me. But I'm toward the end of the evening. I'm getting pretty chill. We're done recording video stuff. Just kind of kicking back and reading chat. I like to swing my microphone around as I swivel. That's it.
All right. I mean, this is all technically recording, so I can still use this.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Whatever blows your hair back.
I don't know what, but technically, everything you say now belongs to me. Even on your own channel, which is fun.
Oh, that's true. I'm still streaming on my channel. I forgot I'm streaming on my channel right now, too. That's right. That's funny.
Jim, I think you did. I think this is a fun episode. I mean, I like it when we're not on the same page, and it seemed like we were pretty much on the same page for this one, but we were also just ripping this movie apart, which was fun for me, at least.
Yeah. Did it seem like it was a bit shorter? I could have swore we started at 8 and pretty much had it wrapped up at like 8:30, 8:40. And then we kind of just did some technical stuff, a lot of stuff that you're probably going to edit out. It seemed like it was easy under an hour.
Which I'm okay with, to be perfectly honest, because like Prometheus and Covenant, granted, both those movies had a lot more to talk about,
right?
But both of those movies were like an hour 25 by the time I was done editing. I'm like, that's a lot to ask. I mean, it's no Mad Max, but that's still a lot for one movie.
I think I kind of repeated myself a bit on this one too, so there's probably lots of footage that you could probably just cut out.
Yeah, there was once or twice where I was, especially during your scoring.
Yeah,
because we talked about like making that a little bit shorter, and then you were saying some things where I'm like, you've said that before, but that's fine. Like worst case scenario, I might take it out of beforehand and then leave it in for your scoring.
Yeah, I forgot to shorten the monologue at the end again. I'll get that next time.
No, that's fine. It was good. Overall, I think it was a fun episode. So, I did have somebody that I thought just had a funny comment for the Covenant just before we went live, like a little bit before. Let me see if I can just grab it real quick. Um, so of course the title is "This Ruins Everything," and then the thumbnail says "This destroys lore." And this guy's comment is like, "Nope, it was a good addition to the franchise. Americans are just butthurt that it didn't have military with big guns, family drama, and the rock and roll music while killing hundreds of aliens. Alien and its 2 prequels are thinking man films, not big action blockbusters." And I was just like, was that a point we made in the entire thing? Did we ever say, man, I wish there was more aliens getting shot by big military guns? I'm like, did you listen to anything we said? Because that is not what we talked about whatsoever. Also, maybe 2/3 of us aren't American. So, okay, sure.
Yeah, right. But he's got a point. I really do think we needed more big guns and aliens. No.
Not in that movie. I'm okay with having another Aliens 2 or Aliens style movie, but like in that one, I liked, because like Prometheus is probably one of my favorites in the franchise. But like, I didn't at any point think like, man, I wish there was more people with guns. If anything, I wanted less killing.
Right. I'm hoping that Alien Earth will be kind of a war drama treated like a plague, where it's how is humanity stopping the sweeping viral epidemic of the aliens, hatching and taking more people. I think that'd be kind of cool. I don't have high hopes for Alien Earth.
My fear for Alien Earth is it's going to go one of 2 directions, and neither one of them, which I'm going to find all that interesting, I don't think, is it's either going to be like, because if you get a queen on Earth, humanity's kind of fucked.
Right.
Like it's I don't know. Like, I guess you can nuke them from orbit, but if you don't know where the queen is specifically, humanity's in a rough shape. So the only way they can kind of give us much of a chance is either give us a giant military, which I guess they could have, or if they go more of the almost like resurrection way, like, oh, the aliens are changing and now they're this and now they're not acting the way we think they are. Like, I feel like they're going to have to change the way the aliens are. And what I want is like, I want Aliens 2 on a larger scale. And I feel like
that's what I want as well.
Resurrection. Like, I think it's going to be, oh, look, they're mutating into society and this one can talk English. And now we're going to have debates about what it means to be humanity.
Please.
Like, I could see it going.
Oh,
really
that would
awful.
be so horrific. Yeah. I don't need agenda. I just want, I want a front lines kind of movie where,
it also depends heavily when they come to Earth.
That's true. Yeah. And we've got some issues depending on what they're going to take as canon for Alien Earth because of the movie Resurrection. I mean, we did see in that trailer that spaceship hurtling towards Earth with something kind of flowing or crawling through it. I have to rewatch it to figure it out. That could be the piece of the space station from Alien Resurrection that they plummet into the side of the Earth, and everybody's like, "Yay, we succeeded!" I'm like, "You just nuked Australia? What the hell?"
Yeah, there's no life on Africa now, but cool, you win.
Yeah. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they go with that.
I'm curious to watch a legitimate trailer. That teaser didn't.
Yeah, both the teasers suck and don't do anything for me. So I need to know where this is going to go. And I wonder how much of the show has been scripted, recorded, edited. Like how much do they have in the can ready to go? And is there still time for them to adjust it as they listen to community feedback from their teasers and stuff?
I obviously I have no idea, but. Sorry.
So you got
Chill Kill is still here from Kick, hanging out this entire time, or left and came back. Either way, he said the trailer didn't work for him. The teaser didn't work for him either. Mm-hmm. I'd love to talk to somebody who did. I mean, it's too short for anything, but I'd love to. I guess I'm just waiting for a trailer, an actual trailer, and then I'd love to have a conversation with somebody and get some thoughts because we don't have enough information to go on anything.
Yeah. I think I'm actually gonna wrap it up. I'm feeling kind of sleepy and I want to take advantage of that and get some rest. I have the last 4 days of my on duty time at the city tomorrow, and I'd like to. I don't give a shit. I could sleep through those too. I don't care. Nobody else in my job cares to work. Why should I? But I'm probably gonna go get some sleep and.
Sounds good, buddy. All right. I'm going to head out as well. So for anybody who can see it, hit the link down below, hit subscribe on that YouTube channel. That is where you will find my movie trailer reactions, the edited episodes of R Rating, as well as I'm talking to a buddy. I would love to do actual movie reactions, like watch movies I've never seen before and put that out there. I know those are really big on YouTube right now. It seems like it'd be a lot of fun, but I don't really want to do that with somebody online. No offense. I just feel like you want to have that interaction with somebody in the same space you're in. So I'm trying to talk a buddy of mine who I think would do really, really well in that space, but has no on camera. Like, he doesn't have a YouTube.
Are you gonna get like a camera, you and him just sitting on the couch watching the film, and then you'll clip the reactions out?
It'll probably be right here. Honestly, he'll probably be like right beside me. I do have. I borrowed a couple of XLR mics from a friend, so I can't have two mics set up. But I mean, like, I've seen a ton of videos where they do that. They don't watch, like, they do watch the entire movie, but they don't show them watching the entire movie. They'll clip it up to when they're actually, saying something somewhat interesting.
Yeah. You've
and
got an
they're surprisingly
Elgato Wave 3
entertaining.
right there, don't you?
I'm sorry?
You've got the Elgato Wave 3 right there, don't you?
That's correct, but it's a USB, so you can only have one USB mic, to my understanding.
Right, but you won't need it. If he's sitting right next to you, just turn the sensitivity down on it and just use one mic. It'll be fine. That's what I do with the kids. Everybody can hear them.
Fair enough. All right, that's a great point, Ro. Movie trivia. Sorry, Mongoli's Movie Madness, starring Ro of Gilead and Dadpool Games. We're going to be recording that on Monday, the 17th? Not this Monday, but the one after that, at 8 p.m. So make sure you hit that follow button so you know when that goes live, so you can come and hang out for that. This will be the 5th episode if you include the one that Will did with me and Bubba Hotep. Really fun show. Run was on the very first one, going against Doolam. All of those episodes are on the movie channel, so you can go check those ones out. And this one will be on there once I edit it down. We'll see who knows more about absolute nonsense, whether it's Dadpool Games or Ro of Gilead. Come by and check that out.
And as for my stuff, I will be streaming tomorrow afternoon, 6 p.m. Central, doing happy hour. And then we'll probably go over to Cleaning Agent stream if he's up after that. And then this weekend, I'll be doing some Silent Hill 2 stuff, usual jump scares and whatnot. And next week, since I will be not technically unemployed, but not working, I will start my regular stream schedule of 8 to 10 Central in the mornings, 5 days a week. And so I'll be streaming 5 days a week in the morning, plus Fridays in the afternoon, and then some stuff on the weekends even once in a while. But they're all going to be short streams. Nothing is going to be over 2 hours that I do. So I can come in, get some stuff, and find ways to edit those 2-hour bits into smaller content.
Nice. That sounds awesome. I am looking forward to you having a schedule again, because honestly, the afternoons when I knew you'd be online were awesome. And then when you went away and you were just kind of popping up randomly, I was like, I don't know when to find you.
Yeah.
It's tough. But like knowing you're going to be on at this time is like, okay, I can make time for that.
Yep.
All right, guys, I'll be back Saturday. I don't know what I'm playing yet. Probably What Happened to Eldith. I don't know what I'm playing yet. I can't think of the name of the game, but we'll play something Saturday morning, and then we'll come back Monday. Again, it's my late week, so I won't be starting till like 9 p.m. We're going to do more of The Quarry, try and work our way through that one. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you later. Cheers, everybody.